Children beware, there's evil out there, but if you dare, they'll catch you, I swear. They're full of lies that do ensnare, they'll take over your easy chair. Babysitters. If you want to make it through the night, you'll have to outwit her. This is Deeko Jones, how to survive your babysitter. Evil. It comes in many shapes and forms. The book of Genesis describes evil as a serpent. Unimaginative anime is depicted as a black mass of gelatinous ooze that follows its victims until it can copy their solid forms. Many consider evil to be a state of being that usually arises from coupling a life devoid of any affection and a miserable employment with detestable organizations notorious for three-letter acronyms. You know what I consider evil? Con artists. People who are cruel to children. And of course the eerie black blob writhing under my bed. It whispers things at night. And what is one thing that falls into at least two of these categories 99.9957% of the time? Well, nuns for one, because they're always asking for money. And in the past they used to beat children's wrists just for being left-handed. And in the wrong lighting from the corner of your eye, that nun's habit looks a lot like the blob of liquid shadow living under my bed. See what I mean? But nuns aren't bad anymore, thanks to child abuse laws. And besides, they're with the guy upstairs, so they can't be evil. But you know what is? And still fits into the above categories? That's right. Babysitters. In this new segment, I, Deeko Jones, will teach you how to combat these fiends. I will begin by recounting a brief overview of the history of babysitters. Now, the term babysitter is quite rustic indeed. It dates back nearly 36 centuries, long before the times of nuns, blobs of liquid shadow, or notorious three-letter acronyms. Back then, when parents wanted to get away from their children, they merely sat them down into confining chairs that restricted movement. These chairs were specially designed and built in various sizes to accommodate for infants, toddlers, young children, and people deemed unsafe to ever have their hands free. Unfortunately, in these times, doors were nothing but dangling tarps, not unlike the 1600 BC original hanging behind me. Frequently during these times, wolves tended to mosey into the villages and would on occasion wander into people's houses. Because the children would be unable to move or run away or defend themselves, many were claimed by these beautiful animals. There's just so much splendor about them. Anyways, eventually governments worldwide saw these devices as useful for torturing and confiscated them all. Parents were in a bind for the next several centuries and never went anywhere without their kids. Orphanages faced many issues of overpopulation during this time. Then, throughout the Middle Ages, Jesus took the world by storm. Parents everywhere sent their children to menageries. No, that's not it. Monasteries. Maitre d's? Monasteries. Monasteries and nunneries, where they were cruelly beaten by, you guessed it, nuns. Unfortunately, a devastating adverse effect arose. Because the parents had so much time to themselves, they would develop an unfulfillment in their lives, and would end up having yet more children. A vicious cycle was forming, and nuns were being trained en masse, forming actual religious armies. Sending children to nunneries had actually become trendy. In fact, people said it was habit-forming. Soon, almost all of society was either monks or nuns, neither of whom can marry, and because of this, after that generation, the population of the world decreased to nearly 80%. It was the Black Plague all over again, and people had to walk 10 miles just to try to find their neighbor. Slowly but surely, population began to increase, along with technology and intelligence. One day, a mother took her only daughter to the local well for some water, and to possibly drown her high-maintenance 7-year-old, and something went very wrong that would permanently influence and mar the civilization that we have come to know permanently. But I'm not bitter. The mother tripped and fell in the well. Her daughter, distraught with fear and malnourishment, went crazy and attempted to dive afterwards to save her drowning mother. Meanwhile, an onlooking teenage girl saw this, and knew the youngster had no chance to save her drowning mother. So in order to keep her from committing an accidental suicide, she sat on the little girl in order to keep her from getting seriously injured, until help could arrive to recover the mother's corpse. To bring her to a doctor where she swiftly recovered. Then, the teenage girl got this wild idea, and she realized,
hey, I just helped keep that little kid safe while her mom was off drowning. I bet if I could keep kids safe while their parents are in life-threatening situations, I could do the same thing for parents who want to go out and get away from their kids. I could charge money and have my own business. Oh, this is going to be awesome. I have to spread the word. I know. I'll go invent business cards. Yay!
As an ode to the original fateful encounter that started her career, the teenager named her profession babysitting, which had no affiliation to the original connotation involving chairs. This new trend blew up faster than Oprah when she went off her special protein shake diet. Nunneries and binding chairs were now obsolete. The babysitting market boosted the economy all the way into the Renaissance period. But like all great things in this world, they eventually become corrupt. The babysitters of today are now wicked and self-serving individuals. They take advantage of your parents' naivety and innocence, but you, as the wise children, have a hope to survive. Babysitters don't care about you. They only want your parents' monies and utilities. The only reason some babysitters care about your well-being is because they tend to get fired if you're seriously injured or killed. They don't have ethics. They are only protecting their careers. Most of the time, babysitters won't only take advantage of your parents, but you as well. They can and will make your evenings miserable while your parents are out seeing R-rated movies or dancing the night away well past your bedtimes. And now you know where babysitters come from, besides coffins, and why they are so untrustworthy. From here on out, I will begin to describe some of the many types of babysitters, how they can hurt you, and your best chances to survive them until the night is over. So be sure to tune into the next How to Survive Your Babysitter. Remember, if you or someone you know is, has been, or ever will be terrorized by a babysitter, call this troll-free number. Or, since that's not a real number, you can defer them to this show and have them subscribe, so they'll be notified the next time I load a video in this or other segments. This has been Deeko Jones, reminding you to always watch out for those blobs of liquid shadow. Until next time... Get back under the bed. Until next time, Internet, Deeko is out.
Remember that Deeko Jones is a fictional character created by a poor college student who wants to make the world laugh, and all material should be taken with a grain of salt and a dash of pepper. Any offense is not intended, and any similarity between Deeko Jones and his appearance or material and any other person living or dead is purely coincidental. Deeko Jones' creator, associates, employees, friends, assistants, and family are not responsible for any injuries, emotional scarring, psychological damages, fatalities, economic or natural disasters, and or lawsuits that may result directly or indirectly by watching the show and or following and or not following any and all advice. Inconsistencies between Deeko Jones' account of history, present, or future are mistakes in the culturally accepted records not by him. Deeko Jones is a nerd. He is never wrong. Never.